acted as his tour guides.
Wow.
Here's video of Chan's.
They're opening the door for him.
It doesn't seem like what we thought it was.
But we got one of my favorite guys who are touching in on the Jan 6 deal. I know y'all are tired of hearing about this Jan 6 thing. Well, guess what? I'm not, because there's a bunch of stuff that need to be put out there.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Speaking of which, did you see the new video of the QAnon shaman being led through the Capitol building by police?
No. What happened there?
You know, there's the story of the violent insurrection.
Oh, yeah, of
that's
course.
the narrative,
It
right?
was, I mean,
By the way, well, let's just be real clear. You shouldn't break into the Capitol building. You shouldn't be trying to overthrow the government. You shouldn't be trying to, like, get out there and say that the election was false when you don't exactly know. You're just buying into it, and then you all invade the Capitol. It wasn't good. Wasn't a good look for America. Wasn't good for any of the people there. Nothing was good about January 6th.
Everything he said about the disclaimer, in his disclaimer, I actually agree with. I think there's better ways of doing things, in my opinion. There's always better ways of doing things, but it's just one of them things where something had to happen. Unfortunately, it went very left. It went left. But guess what? Looking at a bunch of these other protests that we have around the city all the time, where people are being, I'm talking about tens of people are being killed during these protests. And businesses near the areas where they're protesting are being vandalized, broken into, a whole bunch of their products and whatnot is being stolen or burnt. That didn't happen during the Jan 6 situation. As a matter of fact, a great deal of the people who are acting like they care about what happened at the Capitol, they could care less. I'm keeping it a buck with you. They can care less about what happens at the Capitol. Trust me. But the way that this whole thing was planned and like, don't let the senators get out of here. These are direct orders to the police officers who was there trying to bring about some order. That makes no sense to me. And the chief of the Capitol, come on, man, I'm just not even going to talk about it.
Let's be real clear. But when you watch the video of that guy being led around through the Capitol building by police, they're basically giving him like a tour. They're talking to him and hanging out with him. At one point in time, it's him, and there's like 6 police officers around him, and they're not arresting him. They're not throwing him to the ground. There's no violence at all.
I said could care less. Corrected me talking about couldn't. Thank you, though.
Like, I don't think what that guy did was good. I don't think what any of those people did was good. It wasn't smart to barge into the Capitol and take pictures of your feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk. It's stupid. It's a crime. But they were leading him around. Like, the cops were talking to him and hanging out with him. They weren't like arresting him immediately. It wasn't like he was this violent guy who broke in and started smashing things.
They stayed between the velvet ropes.
Watch the video.
Yeah.
See, have you seen the video?
No, I have not seen the video.
See if you can find it, because Tucker Carlson highlighted it on his television show, and now everybody's up in arms because it's coming from Tucker. But it should be coming from the New York Times too. It should be coming from everybody. It's just, this is video footage of this guy.
I love what he just now said. Please don't let that go over your head. He said that this footage should be coming from everybody. Did y'all hear that? Y'all need to hear that right there, because the gentleman he's talking to is not aware of this video being out. He's explaining to him what's going on. I'm assuming he's about to show him some of it, but he just now said the same thing that we said during the live. Why is it that Chuck Schumer is trying to get Fox News to stop putting that information out there? Stop, like put a leash. You need to put a muzzle on Tucker Carlson, because what he's doing is making me look bad. All right, but Joe is clear. He said, "Man, this should be on everything."
Television show, and now everybody's up in arms because it's coming from Tucker. But it should be coming from the New York Times too. It should be coming from everybody. It's just, this is video footage of this guy. And it's a thing that's different than what we're being told it is. We're being told that they barged in and they overtook the Capitol, locked them up, put them in jail.
It seems edited, though, I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
It's
definitely
both
edited.
Teams edited it
in
various ways.
It's definitely edited. But when you see the video itself, you do see these cops walking around with this guy, and they're essentially, it's like they're giving him a tour. It doesn't seem like what we thought it was.
But the other thing is,
I thought it was like they broke in and then they've scared the cops away, and there was so many of them that they overtook the Capitol.
I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, and I don't care. Where was President Trump for these people? These are his strongest supporters. He did not stick his neck out for them in the slightest. He let them rot in jail.
Whoever that is that worked for Joe Rogan, I don't think he fully understand exactly what was going on during that time. Because your boy, Trump was being censored like crazy. And whenever he was trying to speak up about what was going on, he was being quieted and silenced. And they was trying to use the highlighted trailers of all of the breaking of windows and the bullying of the people who were there. They was trying to use that as a highlight for Trump to be quiet. Like, Trump, you messed up enough. These are your people, and they're doing things by your orders. We saw you tell them to do it. They was doing it because of you. And now you want to get in front of the people and say, we need to defend these people. He was actually trying. But guess what? They painted this to be such a bloody bloodbath that he couldn't do but so much, in my opinion. But that's just me.
Is that the one?
I can't tell because I'm not listening to it.
So here it is.
But it turns out there's quite a bit of video you haven't seen. And that video tells a very different story about what happened on January 6th.
They're fixing it.
1,000 hours of surveillance footage from in and around the Capitol have been withheld from the public. And once you see the video, you'll understand why. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection. In fact, it demolishes that claim. And that's exactly why the Democratic Party and its allies in the media prevented you from seeing it. By controlling the images you...
Man, when they first showed it, I thought that people were breaking in there, busting holes in the walls, putting their ding-a-ling in the walls and peeing in it or pooping through the little holes that they'd made, burning down offices, like shredding confidential information. I thought that they was taking files that they weren't supposed to be taking, putting congressmen or senators in a headlock, whatever, man. It seemed like the way that they was trying to paint the picture was like this was actually a Quentin Tarantino movie. That's actually how they was doing it.
were allowed to view from January 6th. They controlled how the public understood that day. They could lie about what happened, and you would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington.
Our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
The first thing you notice from viewing the full video record of January 6th is just how many people entered the Capitol building that day.
Holy shit.
Hundreds and hundreds of people,
Wow.
Possibly thousands over the course of about 2 hours. The crowd was enormous. A small percentage of them were hooligans. They committed vandalism. You've seen their pictures again and again. But the overwhelming majority weren't. They were peaceful, they were orderly and meek. These were not insurrectionists. They were sightseers. Footage from inside the Capitol overturns the story you've heard about January 6th. Protesters queue up in neat little lines. They give each other tours outside the Speaker's office.
Yeah, send someone order some tea for Nancy Pelosi, please. Send it to Nancy. All right? Yeah, that'd be amazing.
They take cheerful selfies and they smile. They're not destroying the Capitol. They obviously revere the Capitol. They're there because they believe the election was stolen from them. They believe in the system. Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. These are not rioters. These are people who wandered over from a political rally.
We will not let them silence your voices.
After the rally, they walked down Pennsylvania Avenue, where organizers had secured a federal permit to hold a legal rally on the grounds of the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Once at the Capitol building, things began to get chaotic. Capitol police officers fired tear gas into the crowd.
Now, here's the thing. They say that they weren't prepared. How were they not prepared when they knew there was going to be a protest at the Capitol? How is that possible? Even Trump knew that they was going over there. He was like, I know y'all about to go over to the Capitol and protest peacefully and patriotically. He knew that. So if he knew, they knew, but they was just underprepared. Why? I'll tell you why. It's because liberals are racist. They act like they support the Black Lives Matter and all these other groups and whatnot, the LGBTQ community and the groups that they represent. But as soon as one of those groups schedule a protest, they make sure that they got armed guards out of there and everything. They're like, okay, we support you, but we don't trust you. Y'all try something, we shooting you right in your ass. Okay? We're gonna make sure that we are ready for y'all. But when they knew that it was Trump supporters coming over there to protest, it's like, oh man, we only need like 2 police over there. This is gonna be fine. It's not a big deal. Come on, it's not a big deal. We good. We are good. Trust me. These guys are a bunch of Republicans, and they have no passion in them. They're whatever. They'll be in and out. They're gonna come yell a little bit and then leave. You know what I mean? We only need 2 people. As a matter of fact, you can go to lunch for free. I mean, you go to lunch early. Everyone take an early lunch. Everyone take an early lunch. Do we need the armed guards? Do we need some like military out here? Ew. Why? I mean, we needed that for Black Lives Matter, obviously, because, we knew the day was coming, and most of them black, right? And white liberals. So, when they come, they usually start some stuff. We're going to make sure we good for them. But so that's on y'all, liberals. That's on y'all.
A few at the front of the herd broke windows. Someone opened the doors, and many hundreds of others just walked in.
We're going to make that the story.
Of course, they did make it the story. And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman.
QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides.
Wow.
Here's video of Chansley.
They're opening the door for him.
Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to...
It looked like bring your kid to work day, man. I swear to goodness. Nah, seriously, look at this right here. It looked like bring your kid to work day. Like you bring your kid. This looked like bring your child to work day. They are literally walking this man from door to door as he's dressed in his cartoon, and he's just like, okay, following dad. Okay, I'm just following you. We're going to go inside of here, son. You should see this one. I love this room. This is where we keep it's locked. Okay, we're going to go find another room to go through.
They acted as his tour guides.
Wow.
Here's video of Chansley.
They're opening the door for him.
Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
He held the door open for him and everything, man.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th.
Oh, he's bald.
Indisputable facts recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Like, you burst into the United States, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him.
No.
Shoot him. It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley. And the video proves that.
Shoot him. Don't most of the people on the left, aren't they against guns, the last I checked? But now they want to shoot the shaman for walking around with a daggone mask and his shirt off. I dare you be inside the Capitol with your shirt off, holding the flag with a hat on. Shoot him.
But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the chairs.
Wild, right? You're not supposed to go into the Capitol building. Granted,
I thought you certain times you are
not like that.
Yeah, not like that. Sure.
Not like that. But when you see the people taking him around essentially on a tour, that's not what I thought it was.
I just hope all the conservatives watching this realize how little appetite there is in the Republican Party for defending people like this. And thinking that Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump care about this is a delusion.
It's not even defending them. It's just forget about it. Let's look at what actually happened. We didn't know that happened.
Right.
We had a version of it where it was just chaos and the cops ran away.
And the cops were murdered.
Yeah. I would have never imagined that this.
I'm shocked to see that.
You see, he said cops were murdered. What cops were murdered? Please let me know in the comments because I really want to know that. People actually being hurt and killed, no time for that. Like that right there, definitely. Whoever did that, yeah, you should be punished at the full extent of the law. Because he's saying cops were murdered. That's what I was hearing. I was hearing that no cops were murdered. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. No cops were murdered. That's why I said that they are, oh man, why are they trying to act like this is the second coming of 9/11? That's what they're trying to do. Like they're trying to act like this is the second coming of 9/11. Never forget Jan 6. And that's the part that I don't, it's so fake. It's just fake as hell, man.
It's so wild.
And like to your point that it's not a bigger story, that it's in Tucker who's covering this.
It's just broken. And I think people are starting to pay attention to it now.
I don't think it's broken. I think it's by design. I think it's It's by design. It's not an accident.
No, I mean, it just broke. I mean, like.
Oh, yeah. Okay, story just broke
got out in the world. Yeah. I think it's really recent. And so I think people are just starting to recognize that it's not what you thought it was. It's not good to get in. It's not good, but they did, clearly. You want to peacefully protest, you do it outside. You don't ever go into the Capitol building. If someone smashes his door, don't enter behind it.
I don't see how not having him under house arrest wouldn't be infinitely preferable to putting him in jail, which is cheaper. Stay in your house.
And they're putting him in jail for 4 years.
Yeah, like what? Who's that? He's not violent.
For going on a tour.
There's no concern that he's going to kill someone or assault a club.
Yeah. He pled guilty. Of course he did.
Of course he pled down.
If he doesn't plead guilty, they give him 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was guilty. He was there.
Yeah,
he was trespassing.
100% guilty. He definitely should be. There should be some kind of punishment for doing that to make sure that people don't do that.
Well, wouldn't it be better?
How can you say he's 100% guilty? What is he guilty of? What was his charge? What was he arrested for? We can't say that he's 100% guilty unless we understand exactly what he was charged for. Yeah, he pled guilty. He got 4 to 5 years for trespassing inside the Capitol. Are we really lifting ourselves up like that? Like, how dare you come up in the Capitol? But people can go and bust down businesses that own that's owned by actual citizens, run up in there and take whatever they want. But guess what? They're gonna be like, whatever. This insurance could kick that out, fix that up. See, we hold people way higher than other people, man, and I don't like that. I don't like it, man.
But if he did actually community service and help the community,
clean up. Go clean up garbage
clean up.
somewhere.
Yeah, go clean up the mall. Yeah. Like do that for like 4 years. Every weekend you have to go to the mall, clean up broken glass. Fine.
The problem is like with those kind of protest things, man. The mob has a mind of its own, and if you're in that mob and you just follow along with it, and all of a sudden they have your
But that didn't even seem like the mob, because it wasn't like they were knocking shit, pulling off of walls.
But that's also selective, right?
Sure, of course.
This is the thing. They're showing us only the good stuff. If we wanted to watch all of it, I think there's some insane amount of hours of footage, and this has only been recently released, so who knows what else we can see.
I think
obviously he said in the beginning of the video, Tucker Carlson clearly said that there was thousands of hours of footage. There was many hours of footage. So, and they were saying, oh, it's edited. Obviously it's edited. You're watching an 8-minute video. What do you really expect to watch the entire, and I'm not trying to be a jerk or phallus or anything like that, but come on now. It's obviously it's going to be edited. And it's going to be edited to show that the gentleman the guy who is arrested right now for 4 to 5 years, he didn't look like a threat at all. We're literally showing him trying to find his post, and he is being escorted by a tour guide who just so happens to be a Capitol and police. You feel me? I don't think y'all really picking up what I'm putting down, man. I'm just saying that right there, that part right there, that's very important. We can't leave that part out.
I think it's just very sad that we had these big hearings for a long time, and they must have had this footage and they sat on it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
He's a fall guy. He's a fall guy, man. And he that's what he is. He's just a fall guy.